Hello everybody, another question and answer video from me, Levi Clay here, answering a question posed to me on my YouTube channel. Actually one of my patrons from Patreon has left me this comment, and it's a good one, so I thought I would answer it. The question is, do you think that you have the talent to start a career in music, or is it something that you can grow? My son, Mikey, is struggling with that dilemma. He plays a bit of guitar, a bit of bass, a bit of keyboard, but not to a high level. Loves the idea of working in music in some fashion, but I've said to him that he needs to invest in his learning and get better if he wants to create a career, or maybe he just focuses on his A-levels and music remains a hobby. So it's an interesting question when you think about it, because there's evidence to both sides of the argument. The thing that I always throw out, it's like the argument with should you learn to read music on the guitar. The argument from people that don't read music is, yeah, but, you know, look at this guy and this guy and this guy. He doesn't read music, and they just point to all these famous bands and point out that James Hetfield doesn't read music. Therefore, I don't need to read music. Dave Mustaine doesn't read music. I don't need to be able to read music. And while there's some degree of validity in that argument, that's not an argument for not reading music. What that is evidence that you don't necessarily have to be incredibly well educated to be successful in music. So there's every possibility that your son, Mikey, may play a bit of guitar, a bit of bass, a bit of keyboard. You know, maybe he really gets into the creative aspect of music and starts writing songs. And before you know it, he's writing songs that people really enjoy, and word gets around, and he gets a publishing deal and a record deal, and his songs get synced in adverts and things like that. And before you know it, he's making a lot of money, like a lot of money. That's absolutely possible. But if you're a gambling man, maybe that's not the best odds. Learning to read music, learning all of the academic side of music, again, it's not going to guarantee you success in the music industry, but what it is going to give you is a better chance. So, while it's absolutely possible to go out and succeed without really being excellent at things in music, statistically speaking, you're less likely to do so. There are plenty of people that tried to make it in music but fell on their arse and have no skills. And while there are plenty of people with lots of skills that have also fallen on their arse, the percentage of people that have all of these skills and then try and make a career in the music industry is definitely a higher percentage of those people. There's definitely a higher percentage of success. Now, success is a relative term, of course, because success is different from field to field, from area to area. The guys that make these massive successes in the music industry without really knowing much, not being great players or anything like that, they're on the mega money. The working professionals, you know, they make good salaries. They make livings. Some of them just live month to month. You know, I'm not a rich man by any stretch of the imagination, at all. But I make ends meet month to month, and I can't really ask for more than that. I'm very happy with that. Though if more people do want to support me on Patreon, it does make my life a little bit easier and puts food on our table, which is awesome. So what I would encourage you to do is make sure that whatever your son is doing, he loves, because the more he loves it and the more time he puts into it, the more likely he is to find success in it. The more time he puts into it and understands the inner workings of it, the more likely he is to find an area where he can make a living in it. When I tell people that I make most of my living transcribing music, that's completely alien to them. Not only do they not really know what I'm talking about, when I explain it to them, they're surprised that that's even an option, that, you know, that you could make money doing that. And to be fair, you could say the same about things like YouTube and my Patreon and things like that. Who would have thought 10 years ago that that would be a valid way to make money? I'm not making tons of money on it, but, you know, it's all these little sources of income that help. Teaching is another good way to make money as a musician. If you're a good teacher and you're not ripping your students off, if you've got things that you can offer, genuine support and feedback that you can give to students and help them get where they want to be, then I don't see anything wrong with you wanting to teach. There's nothing wrong with teaching. Likewise, you could get other aspects of the music industry that you could work in. You could work as a buyer for a music retailer, a music instrument retailer, working for a shop like Guitar. You know, it's not a silly little job, having to go out to NAMM and check out the new products and discussing with dealers and distributors what gear you can get, what you think is going to do well for you, booking things like promotional tours for guys to come into your shop to demo the gear so you can sell things. It's it's a more business geared side of the music industry, but these are all valid things. Maybe working for a music publisher, it's a career. There's stuff in that. Maybe your experience of music, maybe you get the experience and you go out and do it, and then you decide, actually, I really like videos as well. And before you know it, you start buying some video gear, and then you start filming people professionally. Now, you still work in music, but you specialise in filming things. Maybe you really enjoy recording music, and you end up in a position where you're a producer and you're producing people. The only important thing that I'd point out is that none of this is set in stone. None of it is guaranteed. Music is not one of those careers whereby if you've got the skills, you will pay the bills. I know plenty of musicians that struggle and gave it up because things didn't happen for them. I'm very much a believer in yourself. I don't believe in luck. I very much believe that luck is nothing more than opportunity meeting preparation, and I do believe that we're presented with many opportunities in our life. We're just not always ready for them, so we let them pass us by. In my opinion, to succeed in the music industry, you need to be prepared at all times, pouncing, ready like this, to jump on things and go, yep, that's my opportunity, I'm having it, and I'm going to make the best of it. That's how my book came about with Fundamental Changes. The offer was put out there, and it was an instant, yep, cool, I can do that. I'm prepared for that because I spent the last however many years of my life developing my writing ability, developing my my planning skills and my teaching methodology and methodology. So it all came together. I was ready for it when it happened, and there have been some other opportunities that I can't really talk about right now because they've not come together yet. But again, opportunities have been presented to me, and I jump on them because I'm prepared for them. I'm ready. If your son doesn't feel that he has all of those things, if he's not wanting to jump in and do this like now and a living, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing the A-levels and music being a hobby. I don't like the word hobby though, because we often look down on the word hobby. You can do the A-levels and go out and have a well-paying traditional job and have a passion on the side. Music can still be a passion no matter what you do. In fact, if music is your passion, maybe working in it isn't the best idea, because I'm telling you, some of the worst times in my life have been when I started out my career in music, and month to month I was barely making ends meet. In fact, there were months where I was having to dip into the earnings from last month just to pay rent. And at times like that, you kind of look at your guitar and you hate it. You want to blame the guitar, but the guitar's inanimate, and really you're just trying to hide the fact that you need to blame yourself and that you're useless. And shit like that's hard, and I'd never wish that on anybody. That's depressing, and all sorts of shit comes from that. I'd never wish that on anyone. So ultimately, the advice for your son is take calculated risks. Think about what the best options are and work towards your goals. Hope it works out for you. If you have enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button, comment, subscribe, leave me more questions, and check me out on Patreon, link to that below. I've been Levi Clay, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Bye.